Hello, friends. I'm so excited to get to talk to you today. It's Pastor Tim. I usually get to talk to the adults all the time, but how excited am I about today getting to talk to you and to be with you just for a few minutes to talk about something. Here's a secret. Today I'm going to share with you beforehand what I'm going to share with the adults on Sunday. So you'll get a chance to hear it before they do. So I'm out here on the porch doing some great things with you all. And there's some katydids in the background, and there's a great wind chime behind me. Some beautiful friends gave it to us. So we'll get to enjoy the back porch together. How about that? I want to talk to you today about what I call a topic is like when you've had enough, you're just kind of over it. You've had enough of this, tired of it. Most people are talking about school nowadays, and I know that that affects you guys all at the same time. I know that that's a big thing in your mind, and then you might be worried about it. You might be feeling a little anxious about it. I know I am. I know that a lot of adults are, and sometimes with all that talk, and I heard today there's some changes. With all the changes every single day, something new and something different, that makes me a little anxious. Maybe it does for you too. Maybe this year is a year that you're supposed to be going to school, and you're supposed to be going to a new school or a different classroom, or maybe you're staying home and you're going to do your work at home. And that's kind of hard and tough and makes it a little anxious to me too. Maybe you worry about getting good grades. Maybe you're afraid that you might not get the grades that that are expected of you, that you're supposed to get. Maybe you're like me. When I went to school, I was always worried about the way I looked. I was always bigger than everybody else. Or maybe you're someone who's smaller or bigger like I was, or you look different, or you're smarter, or you're not the smartest one in your class like I wasn't. Maybe there's some things about the way you look that makes you nervous. Maybe there's a bully in your school and you're worried that that might happen to you. Maybe there's some grown-ups in your life who are having trouble with their relationships and not doing so well. So maybe that's gotten you anxious. Maybe there's just a lot of things in your life that just make you say, this is just too much. I'm just over it. I've had enough, God. This is enough. I want us to talk about today someone that we can relate to in the Old Testament. His name is Elijah. Maybe you've heard about him. He was a prophet in the Old Testament, and God used him to do a lot of great things. But he had some anxiety, and he had some struggles too. There was a time when God told him to go talk to this really evil king. The king's name was Ahab. God sent Elijah to go talk to him and tell him about the sin that he was committing and how all of the bad things that he was doing was affecting everybody. The king didn't like it. The king didn't like the way that Elijah came to talk to him. Elijah told him that if he didn't change it, God was going to make a drought come, and the drought came, just like God said, and it came for 3 years, and Ahab didn't like that. He was angry, and he got very, very upset. He started to pursue Elijah. He wanted to capture him and hurt him and maybe do some really other things. So Elijah went into hiding. While he was into hiding from the king, there were some birds that would come every day and bring him food. I'm not sure if it was McDonald's or Chick-fil-A or a Burger King or Sonic, but these birds brought him stuff every single day that he could eat. God was using Elijah to do some really cool things. There was a person who was dead that Elijah prayed, and God raised him from the dead. There was a time when all of these prophets or teachers from another religion that was kind of a false religion came, and Elijah had a contest with them. There was 850 of them against one, and Elijah really did some really great things. God called fire down from heaven, and Elijah was really powerful with God. Elijah, while he was afraid and running from this king, he experienced a lot of great things in his life. That God protected him. God gave him everything he needed. God chose to be with him. God was always close to him. But then something happened to Elijah. Everything fell apart. Kind of like for me, sometimes in my life, he got anxious, like I do, got nervous, like I do sometimes. And in 1 Kings, in the Bible, in the book of 1 Kings, chapter 19 and verse 3, it says this: Elijah walked for a whole day into the desert. He sat down under a bush and asked to die. He prayed to God, Lord, I've had enough. Everything was falling apart. Everything in his life was going crazy. God was doing some great things in his life, but he was just so anxious and so tired and so over it. But you know what? When Elijah prayed, guess what God did? God didn't get mad. God didn't preach to him a sermon and tell him all of the ways that he was doing wrong or that he shouldn't be feeling this way, or showed him all of the things that God did. God helps him. Later on in that same verse, in 1 Kings chapter 19, skipping down to verse 11, it says this: Then a very strong wind blew. It caused the mountains to break apart. It broke apart large rocks in front of the Lord. But the Lord was not in the wind. After the wind, there was an earthquake. But the Lord was not in the earthquake. After the earthquake, there was a fire. But the Lord was not in the fire. After the fire, there was a quiet, gentle voice. There was a great wind. God was not in the wind. There was a big earthquake. God was not in the earthquake. There was a big fire. God wasn't in the fire. God wasn't in all of these scary, crazy, powerful things. God was in the ordinary. God was in the whisper. And I often think about that when I'm overwhelmed by stress, when I'm overcome by anxiety. Why does God's voice seem so quiet? Why is God's voice such a whisper? Why doesn't God speak to me in really loud voices? When you're nervous, why doesn't God send you an email or a text message or something about that? Why does God always be so quiet? God's not in those powerful ways. God's in the whisper. So I got to thinking, why does God whisper? Because when someone whispers to you, they have to be really close to you. If someone's whispering, they're really close. So I like to think that when God is whispering to me, he's really close to me and he's taking care of me. So when I'm anxious, when I'm nervous, and maybe this could help you when you're anxious and when you're nervous, maybe you can know that God's whispering to you because he's always close. Maybe we can breathe and know that he's close. Well, I hope God is with you today. I hope you can hear him whispering today, and I hope you have a great day. You all take care. Thanks for letting me talk to you today. Bye-bye.